All right, so my tenant finally moved out, so I can tell the story of his what should I call it? His removal from my property. So I've got this like I had this tenant who was a fucking alcoholic, just like a gnarly alcoholic, and I knew I was gonna have problems with this guy because like the day he moved in, he told me like, "Oh, I'm in recovery and I've been in recovery and I've just been doing these like meetings and the whole fucking thing." And then like his second day here, he came in like falling down drunk. And it was just like, great, I'm gonna have problems with this fucking guy. I know it. So like he uh he works at a school. He's a janitor at a school, which is fucking crazy that they don't like smell booze on this guy every day. Anyways, so I was having problems with him like getting really fucking drunk. And he was like, at one point, he was bringing this guy over to the house with him and he was like helping him into the house. It started with like they'd show up together and then he'd help him into the house and he'd leave. And then like one day I saw them both fall down on my driveway, hit their heads, and then like sit out there for like 2 hours eating Taco Bell because they were too drunk to walk back into the house.
Wow.
And I kind of had a talk with him. I'm like, all right, dude, like, here's the deal. You cannot get that drunk at my house. Like, it's a liability issue for me. If you get hurt, like, your insurance company might sue me regardless. And like, I, you're allowed to have guests over here, but guests means like if you've got family in town and you want to have like dinner or something like that, it doesn't mean that your bar buddy can come and like hang out with you and crash in your room because he was like crashing in his room and shit on the weekend. So the next weekend, he does the exact same fucking thing. And I'm like, trying to calm down, and I like try not to get angry with these guys, and I try and do it more like business-like and not yell and scream and get all fired up because it just doesn't really do much. And then I'm like sitting on the couch and I notice this guy that he's been bringing over leaves out of his room and then goes outside, and then like half an hour later he comes back in and he uses the door code. I have like a code on my door, and I
Yeah.
was just like, "Dude, did you just use my fucking door code?" Like, "Yeah, like, I just left real quick and then I'm coming back." I'm like, "You don't live here. You're not even allowed to be here. I told Scott last weekend that you're not allowed to be here. So, like, what the fuck are you even doing here?" He's like, "Well, I'm just hanging out and, like, crashing for the weekend and blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "You need to leave. You're not allowed to be here. You gotta go." And he, like, walks into the guy's room and sits down on his chair, and I'm, like, yelling at both of them at this point. I'm like, "This guy's gotta fucking go," and I'm losing my shit. And I finally get the guy out of the house, and the guy, like, goes out to his car and like makes a call, and then he comes back to the door and he starts using the door code again, and I'm like, "No, dude, you are not coming back into this house." He's like, "Well, my stuff is in the room." And I'm like, "Well, he can get the stuff for you. You're not coming back inside. If you come back in this house, I'm gonna fucking shoot you." And then he just lost his fucking mind, started yelling and screaming, "Fucking shoot me, you piece of shit," and da da da, and just like making a scene in my driveway. And at this point, it's like, man, what do I do? I like look out there and all of my fucking neighbors are standing around watching. And I ended up like calling the cops, and cops being cops, they're fucking idiots and they're assholes. And well, that's a civil matter. If he invited him over, I'm like, my tenant told him he's not allowed to be here. So like he's got to go. Even the guy that invited him over here told him that he needs to go. Cops didn't do anything, which is fine. Like, I don't care if the guy gets arrested. It's just gonna bring more heat on my house if he does. And
Yeah.
so I kicked the guy out, and it gets better. Like, so he comes to me like the next day and he's like, this happened on like the 15th or the 17th or something like that. And he's like, "So can I have till the first of the following month so I can have time to like find a room and this and that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but like you're still going to sign this 30 days notice. And if there's any problems, you're out on the 30 days, essentially. Like that's just how it's going to be. And you need to be on your best behavior if you want to stay here through the first." So I go to him one day and I'm like, "Hey man, I've got somebody coming to look at your room tomorrow. So I'm giving you 24 hours notice that I need to get into your room and show this guy the room. He's not going to walk through it. He's not going to go through your stuff. He's just going to look inside to see that the room is what I say it is. And that's going to be it." And so the guy doesn't show up. And the next day, I'm out mowing my lawn, and here comes this fucking guy walking around the corner. He's like, "Hey, did you already rekey the lock?" And I'm like, "No." And like the guy didn't come. I didn't even go into your room today. He's like, "Well, the door's locked and I can't get in." All right. So I start walking in, and he's got my other tenant out on the porch that he had been talking to. So he got my other tenant a job at the same place that he works at. And
Yeah.
like he'd been lying to him about me and lying about why he got kicked out and this and that. So I'm sure they were like standing on the porch, he's talking shit about me, this and that. And
Yeah.
so I go inside and I go, and so the guy has a key to his door, but he's never locked his door once. He just left the key in the door the day that he moved in and never took it out. So you could see the key in the door. So I go in and I go, "Well, where's your key? Did you lock the door?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, so the one day you decide to lock your door is the day that I tell you that I need to get in your room. So you tried to lock me out." He's like, "No." I'm like, "Well, what are you talking about? You've never locked your fucking room before, and now you're locked out of your room because you locked yourself out." It turned out the key was the wrong key, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, like, the other tenant standing, like, in the doorway, like, watching this whole thing, and I was just like, "What a fucking asshole. Can you believe this guy?" And we're both just, like, standing there talking shit about him the entire for, like, 5 minutes, and then I ended up, like, leaving a note on his door saying, like, "Hey, man, you, pay rent on the 25th, so if you wanna stay on the 1st until the 1st, you owe me another, $200, whatever it was, otherwise you need to get out in the next couple days." And haven't seen him since. He moved out, left his room a fucking disaster. There was bugs, there was mold,
Oh,
the carpets were fucking destroyed, and now I have to, change my rental agreement to where I'm gonna come in and do inspections on my rooms once a month because it's just getting out of control with these fucking people destroying my
a-
rooms. It's so
and you don't
annoying.
take much of a deposit, do you?
200.
That won't pay for carpet.
No, we had to shampoo the carpets, and luckily they came out clean, but,
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
it is what it is. These people are fucking disgusting pigs and whatever. I think I might get the guy fired from his job though because he fucked me over. I think I might have told you this once before, but like a while back he told me that he hugged a little girl at school.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely bring that to somebody's attention. Maybe
Yeah.
a wood chipper.
He's the janitor. You don't
Yeah.
touch students as the janitor. And he told me that like, "Oh, she came up to me and blah blah." And like, dude, the way he talks about kids is just fucking creepy. So I'm gonna give it like a month so it doesn't look like it comes back on me. The guy drives around with open containers and drugs in his car.
Well,
Just
I you're outside of Boise, right?
mhm.
I couldn't imagine the clientele of the rent by the month single room in another dude's house in outside of Boise. Like who comes through there? Must be some special people.
Yeah, absolutely. This is 2 in a row that I've had bad in this room. And this sucks because this is not like the rooms that were naturally built in my house. This is the room that I paid like $20,000 to remodel and turn into a bedroom. And 2 people in a row have just fucking destroyed it. It drives me nuts.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah. The fuck.
There's your funny cold open.
Yeah. What's going on? It's time for another episode of Too Hard for the Radio, transmitting from the future-free state of Greater Idaho. I am the Lennar Madman, and back with me this week from Music City, America, we've got the great Daniel Steele. Dan, how we doing?
What's happening? Doing good. A little tired, but I've been going all over the place.
I've got my Black Crow shirt on.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I have some serious doubts about PBS being defunded. Because I went to last Wednesday. I was supposed to fly to Reno to go to a meeting on Thursday. And this dude that I've been trying to get a meeting with for like a month, his secretary is like, he can only meet while you're in the air on Wednesday. Otherwise, it'll be another month. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'll take a really early in the morning flight on Thursday. And when that happened, that freed up the opportunity to go to this hotel in Music Row in Nashville. The Black Crows performed for about 50 people. And then there's like the super VIP section that they normally sell. And there's like 8 of us up there. And the only way you could get one of those 50 seats is if you spend like $250,000 a year on Chase Sapphire. And it was like a fully produced, recorded concert. It was really cool. They must be releasing a new album because I didn't know a ton of the music, but it still sounded great. They can put on a show still. It was
Yeah.
one of the cooler music experiences that I've had. But yeah, PBS is fine.
Yeah, 50
Yeah,
millions of dollars. That's crazy. Yeah, no, I
yeah,
saw them like it was probably like 2 years ago. Me and my mom went and saw them. It's her favorite band and she wanted to go and didn't have anybody to go with, so I decided to go with her and they sounded great. They did their whole, Too Hard to Handle or whatever their Shake Your Money Maker. That's their main album and they sounded
yeah.
fucking great. It's a rough concert. Like I had just had my neck surgery recently and it was
Okay.
like 105 degrees out and fucking Boise is ridiculous. Like it's like any liberal city in the country. Like
You said any liberal cunt.
yeah, any liberal yeah, yeah, good enough. So like we show up there and it's at this botanical gardens, which is a really cool place. Like they have these really cool botanical garden. They do like a really great Christmas thing where they decorate everything and you can walk through there. And anyways, we were out at that and there's like as we're pulling up, there's like hundreds and hundreds of bicycles there. And we're like, what the fuck is going on with all the bicycles? And like at some point, some liberal cunt gets up on the stage and is like, how many people rode their bikes here? And everybody's like, yeah. And they're like, as you all know, for purposes of climate change, you all get $10 off and we're going to donate that to a cause of just climate change and climate change and climate change. And then at the end, she's like, and don't forget to drink lots of water. When it's hot out, you have to drink lots of water. And our water company recycles their just the whole fucking thing. And they were selling like $10 bottles of water. It was crazy. And all the proceeds are going to climate change. Shut up. Fuck you,
Yeah, you
douchebags.
know, it's really interesting how that like they went for well before COVID, they're talking about climate change, then COVID, and then just like the most ridiculous shit that you hear blamed on climate change, and how underrepresented communities are impacted more. Like a gay man's more impacted more than a straight man because of climate change, and it's like God, does anybody believe this? I can't believe anybody actually believes that. And then like the prime minister of the UK, I think today saw was like our trees have stopped producing oxygen because of climate change and they're no longer a source to battle CO2. I'm like, I don't know if I believe that one. And I guess it goes even further. Like I see these clips like today Joy or not today in the recent days Joy Reid said that people want to go back to no income taxes, no regulations, keeping their money and passing it along without tax.
Yes,
And that's
please.
fascism. First off, I thought it was Jada Pinkett Smith, but I won't say anything bad about her because I don't want to get slapped.
Yeah.
But and it's like I does anybody actually believe that? Does anybody listen to that and go, you know what, that's true? Or like the Tylenol thing. God, the Tylenol thing.
This Tylenol thing is crazy.
There was this overlay that I saw on I think it was All In, and it's like 2017 study says acetaminophen causes increased amounts of ADHD and autism when women take it when pregnant. And there's like 4 articles, and then the most recent one, Trump after years of science and history, Trump wrongly blames Tylenol. I'm like, you can see all of these headlines affirming what they're saying, but when Trump said it, it's wrong. And like, I don't even like Trump, but god damn it, I don't like being lied to.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude, Michael
he
Malice
funny
pulled
though.
a bunch of tweets from Tylenol over the past couple years, and one of them said, "We don't recommend you take Tylenol while you're pregnant."
Yeah, it says it on the bottle.
It's
Talk to a doctor.
from their official fucking Twitter page, you know? And it's
And
got
then
and, like, you've got all these liberal women who are just taking Tylenol despite Trump, and, like, I've seen a couple of videos where people are, like, talking about how like, I saw one video where this woman is like, "Oh, somebody got in touch with me and said that one of their friends, like, took overdosed on Tylenol, and now she's in the hospital dying," and,
yeah,
like,
because it fucks your liver if you take that much.
yeah, like, I don't and I take a lot of Tylenol, which I probably shouldn't. I was gonna ask my doctor to take me off of it recently, and I keep forgetting. It's one of those things that I forget to do when I go to the doctor's office, but I take I take,
Let's
like,
just say it's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Percocet with Tylenol in it.
I Let's just say it's 0.5% that causes autism. Whatever, 0.5% of people. Um, a mat. So what? 10,000 women took Tylenol on purpose. What's that? That's like 50 babies that are now going to be born with autism just to and that's for every 10,000 people that did it to rise up out of Trump. That's 50 babies for every 10,000. And it's like, what are you people doing? Like how did we get here? And I don't know that there's even a way to get out of here. Because another thing I saw AOC saying, it's not just Trump who's corrupt, it's Elon who's corrupt, it's Mark Zuckerberg, it's Jeff Bezos. And this is coming from a woman who was a bartender
Yeah.
that made $250,000 a year. That's worth over $10 million now. And like she didn't get there, she didn't get into Congress or yeah, Congress, I think,
Yeah.
because she had a bunch of good ideas and people gave her money to do it. She got into Congress because the Democratic Party thought that they could run her and get her there. And they knew that they would progress their she would move forward with their ideals. So some rich people funded that. It's not like I could be like, hey, I'm Dan Steele. I have a bunch of great ideas. Everybody should listen to me. And I'd have close to an even shot. I would have to go raise money. I actually worked on a campaign for an independent guy. Um, and like every bit of the way he got screwed. Like he had to have, I think it was he was going to run against Cruz and Beto O'Rourke as an independent, and he had to have 50,000 signatures. So one day somebody goes out to all of his signature collectors, and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you $1,000 or $2,000 a day to go up to Oklahoma and
Yeah.
collect signatures." So a bunch of people went, and then there's a bunch of people left that had kids. So they sent in like a mole, and the last person to sign out at the end of the day took a picture of the sign out sheet, and every one of those people had child protective services at their house the next day.
Jesus
Somehow gets more
Christ.
people to sign the signatures. They get to 50,000. It's like the deadline. They leave Austin to go up to Dallas or Dallas to go to Austin or whatever.
Yeah.
And they give themselves 8 hours from the time that they leave till they're due. They get pulled over on the way. The cops hold them for no cause for 4 hours. They miss dropping off the signatures.
Yeah. That's fucking wild. It's
Yeah.
like
So
it's
like
like
there is
when
no hope outside of the system. You have to bend the knee to somebody.
yeah, it's like when Matt Taibbi started reporting on the Twitter files and he got audited by the IRS the next day.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's funny. You know, speaking
anyway.
of bullshit that nobody believes, there's another Twitter clip that's been going around. I don't know who it was. I don't remember, but it was some fucking black on corporate news. And he was saying like the reason that diabetes is more prevalent in the black community is because we have to be called the N-word every day. Huh? What? It's fucking wild. Like imagine I don't even know what to say about that. It's just another one of these bullshit things that nobody believes that like for some reason liberals think that like this is scoring them points in some way or another. Like I really don't get like who you think is going to believe that. Like I guess maybe fat people can go, yeah, I'm not fat because I eat fucking fried chicken and drink Kool-Aid every day. I'm fucking fat because I'm called the N-word.
Sorry, folks, I couldn't say that out
Yeah, no,
loud,
that's a
but
good one. I love it. Yeah, Dan
um,
just texted me a very funny joke, and we're gonna leave that one off the podcast. That was very good. Thank you for that.
um,
Oh shit.
and it's I- do 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 I really think that it's Tylenol that's causing autism?
Probably not. Like,
No.
there's the numbers are so astronomical that like there's no way it can be just Tylenol, you know?
Well,
Even when I
it
was
were
in school, there was like one kid in my school that had like he was a retard. Like he wasn't even
yeah.
autistic. Like he was fucking gone, you know? And he was a fun kid. Like he had a guy that went around with him and helped him do it. Like he wasn't really at school to learn anything. He couldn't learn. He was just there for the social aspect of it. But like there wasn't like nonverbal artistic children in the school that I went to. And granted, like there was only 400 kids in my school, so it's not like I had a huge sampling. But I would imagine
But
if
now it's like 1 in 12 kids or
I was going to
something.
say, I was imagine if you go back to that same school today, there's plenty of autistic kids at that school.
Yeah. Said, wow. Yeah, there would have been like 4 or 5 at
At
least.
least. At
Yeah.
least. And I would imagine there's more. I
Oh,
would
no, more
imagine
than
there's
that.
an
No,
entire
no, more than that.
classroom
My
of them
math
at
was
this
way
point.
wrong.
Like it's crazy, you know, 1 in 12. Like there just wasn't problems like that when we were kids. It I don't know. You're
33 kids.
huh?
It would have been 33 kids.
Yeah. So
No,
there's a
yeah,
whole classroom of them now, you know,
yeah.
and it's out of control and there has to be something going on. Like one of the main excuses that they make is it's like, "Oh, it's not upticks in numbers, it's just different ways of reporting it and classifying it." And it's like, "No, because there wasn't a classroom full of them when I went to school in the early 2000s. Like it just wasn't it's not like there was 30 autistic kids in my school that we just didn't know what autism meant. Like you can tell what this
Yeah.
is. Like it's not like it's hard to pick out, you know. And
It
we had
used to
like
be
a
like you would stare at those people because
yeah.
they were so and not even mean, just like,
Whoa.
"Yo, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
And now it's like, "Well, it's just another one of us."
Yeah. It's crazy, man. And like I think we're up to like 96 vaccines per child at this point. Like
96 shots.
96 shots. That's fucking insane. And the one that
Yeah.
really kills me is the hepatitis B. It's like, why are we giving hepatitis B shots to infants?
Yeah, so that when the schools groom them, they're prepared.
Yeah, no shit, right? when they get when they get dicked down by the janitor that used to live in my house, they're gonna be fucking safe.
I saw like I did the math this is a couple years ago, but you were something like 96 times more likely to get molested in public school than the Catholic Church.
Really.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know that.
I'm gonna get this data right now.
That's crazy. Dude, public schools are just out of control, man. Like you can go on Twitter any day of the week and just see countless videos of like just gnarly fights at public schools. Just insane fights. You know, like a lot of them are black kids beating up on white kids and autistic kids and just acting like fucking animals. But it's not just that. Like these schools are out of control. They're violent. They're unsafe. And like one of the things that drives me nuts is like you'll see these security guards that come up and just stand there. Hey, stop fighting. What are you doing? Stop that. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. And it's like, dude, what are you even there if you're not there to stop a fucking fight, you know?
Yeah. It's pure madness. Um, yeah, I don't think if I had a kid, I don't think it would go to public schools. That's
You
for sure.
couldn't. It's just out of control. Like, I've got friends here in the valley that their kids still go to school because they can't afford not to take them to school. Like, they're both working during the day, and, you
Yeah.
know, it's just not possible for them with the economic situation that we live in our country. But, like, for the most part, like, schools around here are okay. They're not good, they're not the worst, they're okay. Like, they live a little bit further out than I do, so I would imagine their schools are a little bit better than the ones in my neighborhood, but, like, m you know, my mom and her husband, they have he's 13 now, and he's been on homeschool for a few years because they got to the point where every time they would go in and talk to to the teachers and stuff, it was just out of control, and they couldn't do it, and they were starting to do that, like, emotional support learning or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but they were just, basically teaching socialism and DEI,
Yeah.
and, like, you can't have a kid learn like that, and, like, I know my sister, well, I said that. I know people in I know people in Northern California who have, like, sent their kids to college that have not got, let's just say they haven't got their money's worth out of it. These kids aren't learning anything, and they're coming back with all these ridiculous liberal ideals and just, like, hating their parents for giving them everything. It's
Yeah, if you
insane that
if you
you would
go
do
spend,
that.
like, $500,000 on a gender studies,
Yeah,
diploma, and you walk out thinking that there's more than 2 genders, you should ask for a refund.
yeah. I watched a video the other day, it was on YouTube, I think it was a Pred Catch video, and, they were, like, talking to this guy, and they're always, like, act nice to try and get, them to incriminate themselves, and they're like, "Oh, what did you go to school for? Your parents paid for you to go to school?" And he's like, "Yeah, my parents paid for me to go. I got a degree in journalism." And he's like, "Oh, so what are you doing now?" He's like, "I'm delivering packages for Amazon."
Yeah, I guess, though, I don't, like, watch them, but every once in a while, they'll show up in my feed, and it's like these dudes that can't fight
Yeah,
picking up pedos that really can't fight,
yeah.
so it's, like, hilarious watching this guy get beat up by a guy that can't beat anybody up. Oh, it's did you see, at the Gathering of the Juggalos, some guy was filming inside the women's shower,
I did.
and then he got jumped by, like, 20 juggalos,
Yeah,
and they're trying to do, like, WWE moves, like,
yeah,
flying elbows, and, like, this guy makes it a couple 100 yards and walks away. He's getting jumped by, like, 15 or 20 people, like, how bad I think I'd go there just to fight some people, you know? Haven't
yeah.
been in a fight in a good decade.
Me
Think I could
neither.
clean up.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Like, just wrestling is far too popular in this country. Like, adults that are into wrestling, to me, are not much better than adults that are into Disney. It's
Yeah.
just weird. Like, wrestling's for kids, Disney is for kids. Speaking of Disney, I was gonna watch that show Alias, but it's only available on Disney, and I just can't get
Oh.
myself to pay for the Disney Plus package. It's just
Yeah, they changed something on Hulu. My brother-in-law, like, just paid for Hulu, and now none of us can log into it, and, like, I wanted to see the new season of Shark Tank just because I think it's
yeah,
interesting. Just studying business is what I do a lot of the time, and I had the option to just buy the whole season for 32 bucks instead of spending $8 for the Disney shit. I'm like,
yeah. Fuck it.
32 bucks it is.
Yeah, fuck it. Did you see that, they brought Jimmy Kimmel back and everybody was so excited and oh my god, he got 6 million viewers, which is like a decent sized episode of
16, I
Joe.
think.
Was it 16? It could
Yeah,
have been because anyways, the next day his viewership dropped
plummet.
70%.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I really think that that was, a chance for them to get out of it,
Yeah,
but then although the FCC chairman did say something about looking into it or investigating or something, so, like, there's some fuckery there too, but, I really think that ABC or NBC or whatever saw, an opportunity like, "Oh, this is failing, we can turn this into some other programming, like a cooking show." This happened, in the early 2000s, the NHL went on strike, and while they were on strike, ESPN replayed old episodes of the World Series of Poker, and, when they renegotiated the contract, ESPN's like, "We're not interested." 'Cause we're getting better viewership on old episodes of World Series of Poker than hockey because hockey was such a regional thing. You know, you'd pick up the people from Buffalo and Detroit watching that night. Somebody from Florida is not logging in to watch
yeah.
that or turning on to watch it. So, I saw this as opportunistic to get rid of a failing model, but, yeah, then there was so much backlash. He came on, and now it's even worse.
I heard that they got strong-armed to bring him back by a talent agency, where they were like, "If you don't bring him back, we're not gonna allow you to hire people from our agency," or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but that would kind of make sense, right? Like, you've got this huge pool of people that you have to hire from in order to do whatever the fuck it is
Yeah.
that they do, and, you lose out on that hiring opportunity if you don't play ball with them, and I could see something like that happening because clearly they don't care about making, like, a funny show. There's so many
Yeah.
funny comedians out there, like, Tim Dillon would be the ultimate Tonight Show host, right?
Yes.
Like, he would
Yeah.
crush it, it would be hilarious, it would get millions and millions of views every week. Shane Gillis would be a great, like, one of those late night hosts, and they could do that, but they don't
Would
want
it
to.
though? Like, would with them having to be edited and
On
have
the
to worry
internet.
about sponsors? Oh, yeah. Like, I'm surprised that an HBO or somebody that doesn't have to worry
Mhm.
about being edited and they're, subscription based, so that doesn't matter, hasn't done something like that. I guess they did something like that with Bill Maher for a while, right?
Yeah, but Bill Maher's, again, like,
I
he's
think he's
not
dumb, I
as
don't think
bad.
he's malicious.
He's not as bad as the other
Yeah,
guys, but he's still just not that funny. Like, they're still looking for a political show rather than, like, just a funny late night show,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, Gutfeld is the most popular late night host, and that's a political show, but he's also funny. Like, I
yeah,
don't watch it, but I do see clips from time to time, and there's some funny shit goes on there. But like you said, if HBO wanted to do a once a week Tim Dillon show, like, it would crush.
yeah,
It would
yep.
absolutely crush. And,
Like
like,
last
more
week
people would
tonight, but
find it
funny.
because it is HBO and people still do watch HBO and, like,
Well, no, they don't even need to advertise it,
no,
really.
they
All
could get
Tim Dillon
great
has to do is say,
guests.
"I'm doing it."
Like,
Yeah,
they could get great guests. They could bring on people that are doing, new movies. They could just do it like late night used to be and bring
yeah,
on other celebrities, other comedians. They could bring on politics every once in a while if they really wanted to, but for the most part, like, they could just make a funny show and it would crush.
yeah, yeah. I remember when I was, like, a kid and my mom would let me stay up on Friday nights or whatever and watch late night shows. It felt like it was funny.
Mhm.
But then I guess at some point, I thought Last Week Tonight was funny, because I didn't understand the political bias at the
Yeah.
time, and there's just some shit that seemed funny.
Yeah, I used to watch the Colbert Report after South Park when I was a kid, and I
Yeah,
didn't understand that he was playing a character, like, I thought it was real because I was fucking 13 or 14, and I didn't know anything about politics, but I always thought Colbert was funny on that show, and it proves that
yeah,
he could be funny if he wanted to, but
yeah,
he doesn't because he just wants to be a vaccine salesman and a mouthpiece
yeah,
for the regime.
yeah. It pays better.
For sure. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, like, he probably wasn't making a ton of money on Comedy Central doing the Colbert Report.
No,
He was doing
no.
alright, he was making more than most, comedians were at the time, but, like, there's no way he was making what he's making. I would imagine now he's making, like, what, 20, $30 million a year, something like that, just sick insane money.
Yeah, who did he recently get canceled? Somebody like him got canceled.
I don't know. They all need to go. At some point, they're not gonna be sustainable anymore because it's just gonna cost too much money in production, and they're not getting the viewership, they're especially if, like, I mean, I don't know what's going on with this whole, like, pharmaceutical advertisement thing. Like, Bobby Kennedy said he was gonna get rid of it on day 1, and now he's just saying that he's gonna make them put up the risks on screen or something like
He
that,
was gonna
so
get rid of, fluoride. That's one of the things, like, there's I obviously didn't vote because I don't believe in it, but there was some hope with this, administration.
mhm.
Oh, here's an interesting twist. Let me tell you about the molestation first.
Oh, nice.
Um, so 3 times more likely in a US public school than the Catholic Church.
Makes sense, you know?
Um, Colbert gets 15 million a year. And here's something that's really interesting. So in what, 3 hours and 22 minutes, the government shuts down.
Yeah, hopefully, right? Fingers crossed.
And what happens then, I was reading, I didn't like go too deep into it, but it seemed pretty accurate. Once Congress doesn't control the purse, it goes to the office of the budget, which is run by Trump. They
Mhm.
report to Trump. And Trump can go in and make all those cuts that he kept getting sued about and cut all of those jobs permanently. and make it so that there aren't enough people to execute all of the things that all the pork that Congress wants to do. So this alligator tears about the government shutting down. I think it's just dog and pony show. And what's actually happening is they're going to let it shut down. They're going to go in and make those cuts, and there's nothing Congress can do about it. And I saw another thing. Spain, their government shut down for a while, and their GDP grew and their unemployment dropped drastically. It was still to 18%, but it dropped drastically. I'm like, yeah,
Well,
let's do this.
with no government, you're automatically in a surplus, at least for the time being, right? And
Yeah.
like I had
Yep.
heard that he wants to fire a bunch of people and withhold paychecks from a bunch of people. And I kind of assumed that he was going to be hammed up by lawsuits and by judges and all that bullshit. And like, I know you said that this kind of goes to him, but something tells me that oh, these judges are corrupt. And I think that they're
Well,
still going to try and fucking tamp him
th-
down with lawsuits and shit.
they can, but there's no legal grounds to do it because the Office of Budget or CB something whatever reports to him, and there's no legal precedent for any. Like he can just do. He has the power of the purse, and he's the president. He can go and cut all of that shit starting at midnight.
I sure hope so, man. I
Now, does he do
like
it?
we'll see, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't know what the real hangup is. Like I saw that the Democrats want like 1.5 trillion for healthcare for illegals, which I don't know if that's true or not. Like at this point, like I didn't look into it too deeply, but it sounds like something that they would ask for. So I can believe it.
Or do you just make the number so preposterous that people don't question it?
That's what I was thinking,
Yeah.
right? Or if you're the Republicans, do you just have a big ask to the point where you either get everything you want or you get to shut down and do everything you also want to do, right? So
Yeah.
like
And it's
there's
not like Thune is trying to do Trump any favors, you know. It's just yeah, I think that this my, my little like White House thriller story that I typed to you a couple months ago,
yeah,
like or a couple weeks ago, like the Elon and Trump breakup was fake.
yeah,
Elon gets to accuse Trump of being on the list, and now all the Democrats that are on the list are calling for the list, and you're getting a which you'll never see, but you're getting a rallying around that, and all of a sudden the left's going for that. And then Elon's like, "Oh, we can't fix the government because of spending," which they couldn't even get bills passed soon. Like there was no hope. There was no hope to really change anything. And now it's like, oh, okay, shut down the government, go do all those Doge cuts, make them permanent, and then all right, we'll play ball on your dumb spending bill. Oh, there's nobody here to spend that money. Sorry.
yeah. Oops.
Oops.
Seems like a nice it seems like they're I mean, it's about time the Republicans did something. You know, they've been the Democrats' punching bag for so long that I at least hope that this is true
The
and that they're
Republicans are
thinking
the
ahead.
Democrats.
Yeah, they're all
Donald Trump is a Democrat.
yeah,
Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat.
yeah.
Democrat. Lutnick,
RFK.
Democrat. Musk, Democrat.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, Democrat.
Yeah, they're all Democrats. So at least they're hopefully thinking strategically and like actually doing playing offense instead of just reacting to what the Democratic Party does constantly, which is essentially what they've done for my entire lifetime. It's just been reactionary and kind of playing defense. They've been Floyd Mayweather without the winning. You know.
Yeah. Dude, I heard that his kids all have entourages because he was in Vegas. I lived in Vegas, and they'll go into the Gucci store with their entourage and every day and get something new, or go from Gucci to the other designer to the other designer. It was always curious how somebody could go broke with that much money, and he's done it a few times. And like his kids have entourages that just spend like, oh, I'm going to spend 50,000 at Gucci today. Okay, use the card. Be
Yeah,
safe.
they get a big ass allowance. They get
Yeah.
$1,000 a year. It's fucking ridiculous. So another thing I've been seeing a lot of online is you've got financial people saying that AI is a bubble and AI arguing back that it's not a bubble. What do you think's going on here?
Um. So there's a problem with how AI has been so AI was designed by these foundational model companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and they made really great technology. And that technology is talking to a chat window. So then you hear then like the board of directors for companies say, "All right, we need AI," and all we have is this fucking chat window to
Mhm.
deal with. So people are like dumping company data into OpenAI. I don't know if there's this article or a leak that happened a while ago where Google was ranking OpenAI searches, the stuff that they were putting out public, and the way that people employees were using the AI, they were putting like their API keys, they're putting private company data just straight into the window. And then and if you did a Google search, like your API keys and financial information and shit like that was showing up in Google because nobody was like, hey, let's take a top down approach and make AI work for business. So you have these pilots failing, and then you have people using AI like, oh, I have this task to do. Okay, ChatGPT, do this task for me, and they like have it do this task. It's just slop. It's thoughtless. Has nothing to do with their organization or their strategy. They pass it down to an employee or a subordinate, and the employee is now faced with this. Well, do I tell my boss that this is just AI slop, or do I just redo it? Which so that one task that would have took the boss 15 minutes is now taking the subordinate 2 hours,
Mhm.
and or do I just pass this, have shit roll downhill? And the study said that for a company of 10,000 people, it'll cost that company that AI slop just will cost the company $9 million a year in lost efficiency. This is starting to sound like an ad for my company, which I can't talk about here, but know that people are being thoughtful and working on this.
Yeah, I also saw that I sent you this too, but like electricity costs are going through the fucking roof near data centers because all of these, data centers are requiring so much fucking electricity that
Yeah.
it's, being essentially stolen. Like I would imagine we're gonna have like rolling blackouts and shit coming in the near future because these people aren't gonna stop scaling up and we're not
You
gonna be
already do in
able to.
California.
Yeah, they already do. They already do.
Well, here's where it's shifting. Um, the foundational models are a race to the bottom. So OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, all those people are racing to the bottom. Compute costs are going to get lower. Electricity is going to get lower, hopefully. But they're making these massive models, and what I'm seeing is these small specialized models. So something that takes way less in resources to do the thing can get this done. So like
Mhm.
let's say you have a math model, a research model, and a writing model that are just specialized for that one thing. Routing to that model, which takes way less compute, you're able to do a lot more tasks by going to the right place. Another ad, can't
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, but and then DeepSeek is a Chinese company that because we've limited the chips that can go to China, so uh they're forced to compete, otherwise their family goes to camp or whatever. Um, but they have to be competitive even though they don't have the resources that we have. So they started making these small specialized models, and they were able to train a model that was as sophisticated as the OpenAI model at the time. They're able to train it for $6 million when OpenAI had like $100 billion
Yeah.
in training their one model. And w- the way that AI is done and computed today is not the way it's going to be in 10 years. Most of it's going to happen. Also, this is why Apple sucks. I got this from somebody that is a C-level executive at a Fortune 100 company. I talked to them, and I'm like, man, I just hate my iPhone. And he's like, well, do you know why that is? And I'm like, no. They're like, because they're trying to do all the processing on the phone
Oh, that
instead
makes
of
sense.
sending it out to the cloud and exposing all of your data, even if they are secure and all of that. Instead of doing that, they're trying to do the compute on your phone. And like a year ago, it just wasn't there. In
Yeah.
3 years, it will be there.
That's why my iPad took a shit when I went to the new software that had the integrated AI. Like I was
Yeah.
able to we had to change the show essentially because well, like it's changed for the better. Like we were doing videos before, but like the way that I did videos before they integrated AI into their OS is not possible on my iPad anymore. And I didn't know really why it wasn't possible. It didn't really make sense that like one function that was available before is no longer available and they're near. But if all the data and all of the compute is going to something that I'm not even using, like they're going to
Yeah.
sacrifice something that most people don't really use on their iPads, right? So that makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense to me.
and it's happening with much larger chips. Like, when you're driving a full self-drive car, it's not sending the request out to the cloud to see if it should make a left turn or a right turn. All
Mhm.
that compute's happening in the car, but it's like much bigger and it takes up a lot more battery.
But
So
you've
we'll
got
see.
space in a car where in a phone
Yeah,
you don't
you
have
have room for it.
space.
Yeah, you don't have it. So my phone generally lasts me the day unless I'm traveling, like I don't have to plug in. But if I'm on a plane and the Wi-Fi sucks, I fucking burn that bitch up.
Yeah.
And I could see a world where my phone in 2 years I'll have to plug in the middle of the day because the compute's happening there. But it's all going to like it's they're calling it they call it the edge, and it's all the compute's going to happen on the edge instead of in the cloud, and then like the chunkier tasks will go out, but you'll see it just a race to the bottom. Like all of these hundreds of billions of dollars, I wouldn't say are not for nothing, but it's not gonna look the way we thought it was gonna look. That's why OpenAI is trying to get into verticals. Like they just released their shopping where you can buy shit from Etsy by prompting the AI, and they're going to do Shopify next. And like, if they don't move into one of those markets, they're just going to be fucked because the models are going to be, you're going to have 100 small models on a device, and the compute's going to happen on the device.
Yeah. And one of the things that tends to happen within capitalism is that established companies don't make breakthroughs for the most part. Like the breakthroughs come from smaller startup companies that are willing to take chances and try things in a different way. Where
Yep,
like
and then they come and buy you for $100 million. Let's go.
exactly, and they absorb you and but sometimes they do it so well that they don't need to sell. You know, like
Mhm.
Amazon basically took out a bunch of these big box stores because they were capable of doing something that Walmart and Home Depot and like they're able to do what Walmart and Home Depot do online.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to go and sell to one of those companies. It would have been easy for them to sell to Walmart and just kind of have Walmart integrate an online buying system, but they did what they did so well that they were able to make more money by not selling. And I think that's going to happen with AI, whether it's your company or another company. Somebody's going to figure out a better way to do it. And they're not going to be wasting all the money and all the time trying to perfect something that is going to be a dinosaur in 10 years, where like, one of the weird things to me was like ChatGPT gets released, and then within a couple of months, a bunch of other chatbots get released. So, like,
Yep.
how does that happen? Are they already working on those
Yeah,
things? It
those were already years in progress, but then when ChatGPT released, they felt under the gun. Oh, I guess I could talk a little bit about what we've built. And what we've built is kind of like this middle layer between company data and AI, where we bring the AI to where the user is. So what we found is these companies that are like vertical SaaS for a company, they'll sign up all of their employees. Everybody's gung ho, I'm using AI now, but like I have to come over here to do AI, but I'm working here.
Mhm,
So and then you keep like 10% of the users are power users, and the other 90% just go back to doing it how they were doing it.
mhm,
So the way that we're building it is so that the power users can set up these flows where the other employees benefit from the AI, like these reporting systems and workflows and stuff, where the other employee doesn't have to do anything. Like the non-power user doesn't have to do shit, and they're getting the benefit from it. And then we're going to where the people are. So the first integration that we're launching soon, the guy who's working on it's in the hospital, so who knows when.
yeah.
But you'll be able to add our company into your Slack channel
Oh, that'd be cool.
as a bot. So if you want to know, if you want the AI to perform this task with your company data, instead of like stopping what you're doing,
Yeah,
opening
it'll
a new
just be
tab, going to
passively
my
watching your
website,
Slack.
it just happens over here.
That's
And
cool.
then, from there we'll do we're working on this thing where so when I go to a website and I can't get it to work, I go to ChatGPT and ask it to help me.
Uh-huh.
So we're making almost like the paperclip from Microsoft Word,
Oh, cool.
where except it looks at your screen and then it says, "What are you having trouble with?" well, I need to perform this task. And then it just points or tells you what to type and you perform the task so that you don't have to leave the experience. And that evolves into a piece of software that can go on your Mac, on your iPad, whatever, that's always on to where you can talk to it no matter what you're doing and have that data there. And then that evolves into robots. But
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to ask you about that you wrote about in your TED Talk about your company was, holograms.
yeah. So I think it's more, I don't know. When I talk to people who are in technology and try to explain what my company does, and until I can find a use case where they're like, "Oh, I understand it now. I get it." It's just a hard conversation. So I found these little this hologram company. They have like a big one that's maybe 6 foot tall,
Mhm.
and then they have like a 3 foot tall one that sits on your desk. And what we're doing, and it has like an open architecture where you can program pretty much anything into it. So we're building that as if it were Slack or as if it was, the chat window on our website where you just say, "Hey, your hologram's name. What were sales for last month?" or whatever, and
Mhm.
then this thing talks back to you.
How does it
It
work?
Huh?
How does it work? How does it, like, create the actual hologram? Do you even know?
It's inside of a box. There's
Oh,
like
okay,
a
okay,
dozen
that makes
company. It
sense.
doesn't like you don't have just a
A
hologram sitting
projected
there.
s That's what I was
You
wondering because, like, I've
Yeah, you have
always
to have this piece of hardware that sits on your desk that's fully closed in, and then you have a hologram that sits there.
I've always wondered about that because, like, you see it on TV and in sci-fi and shit like that, and I've just never really figured out how that would actually work,
They did
you
it
know?
with Tupac at Coachella a long time ago.
Yeah, I think like, I've seen different ways that they can create them. 'em. I've seen them use smoke, I've seen them use water vapor. Like, I know that they sell some commercial units right now. I looked them up after I was reading about that because I was kinda curious about it, and, like, glasses where you see 'em but that to me, that's not a hologram, that's just augmented reality that looks like a hologram, which cool. I could get down with that anyways, especially if they can make a pair of glasses like you're wearing right now that creates a hologram in front of your
Yeah.
screen, like, whatever, apples and oranges, as long as it does what it's supposed to do, like, I'm game with that, but, like, it's just always seemed like a hard thing to do because of the way light acts and having to have some medium to project it into, but a box makes sense.
Well, I went to a festival at the beginning of August, and um, I I'm usually pretty fucking drunk at these things and just like not paying attention.
Yeah.
And I just went moderate, had my mimosas in the morning, had my beers in the afternoon, and I was looking at like all of the projection, 3D mapping, all of that. The people who are doing it at this 2,000 person festival are making nowhere near what they should make if they were doing it for like a Coachella or something like that. But they're super talented at making light do things.
Mhm.
So I'm actually, once we close our funding round, I'm hiring a couple of people that are in that scene that have never really made money, but they're super talented artists, and their job's gonna be just to figure this shit out. Here's some reason because like they're doing it off of like 8-year-old Windows machines
Mhm.
and just really tough circumstances, and they're making it look great. So like with some proper funding, like what can we do here?
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I like it. I think
yeah,
holograms would be fucking cool, you know? Like,
yeah.
I always remember they'd talk about, like, "Oh, we're gonna have holographic phones in the future," and, like, I don't really see that happening, but, sometimes it takes an outsider to create something new, so, as long as it
There
does
was
the function, it doesn't have to actually be like, what you see in the movies or something like that. Just perform the function the way it should be performed, you know?
yeah.
Interesting.
Um, there was this it was like a TED talk that I saw in 2009,
Mhm.
and this guy had like this device on his chest, and like the wall, he could turn in the wall, turn onto a keyboard, and then it would like project and shit. And I'm like, oh wow, the future is gonna be so cool. And then none of that shit happened. I'm
No.
curious if like a big company bought him up and just shut him down because they competed too closely with something important to their IP. It's
Possible.
interesting.
None of the
Yeah.
future shit ever comes to pass. I remember my grandma always used to tell me that they thought that they were gonna have jetpacks when they were kids, you know? And, like, it's
The
still nowhere near that.
so we are drastically behind on drone technology,
Mhm.
because the barrier to entry was a license. that was expensive,
Yeah.
and that's gone now. But we're far behind. I'm not like super keen on drones. Like,
Don't you
listen
have to
to
have
a
a pilot's license to fly a
no,
drone?
I think that all got removed. Like
Good.
because like what they did is they made it so that hobbyists couldn't do anything. So
Mhm.
like somebody with $1,000 start building a prototype and then put their weekly stipend in it and make something cool, which is how a lot of technology comes about. You couldn't do it. You had to work in an R&D lab. You had to have this license and all that. While in China, they're doing like these full fucking fireworks shows with drones without blowing up a single firework. Like that's how far we fell behind. But I don't like drones.
Me neither.
Imagine like, they're so noisy.
They're
So imagine
dystopian.
1,000 of those just
Yeah.
all
They're
around.
dystopian, I think. Like
Yeah.
it's a gross thing. I remember reading an article in Wired fucking years ago. This is probably like 10, 15, even 20 years ago, even like a long time ago. I remember reading this article that like Amazon had like a whole fleet of drones that they were planning on using like a long time ago. And then for some reason the government shut them down completely. And I don't even remember
They're
why it
starting to
was.
make those deliveries now.
They are, I've seen them.
Yeah.
You know, a guy in Florida got arrested for shooting one with a shotgun.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, did you see his arrest video?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't want to repeat that one on here, but
Yeah, fuck that. I think that he should have been able to shoot that fucking thing down over his property. I think they're dystopian, like, to me, it's
yeah.
like drones, wind farms, the whole thing just makes it look like a fucking, a Black Mirror, episode.
Yeah. You can train hawks to take them out.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Have you
This
seen
is
there's a company that sells shotgun shells with nets in them? Yeah.
no, but I like it.
Yeah, it's
I've
fucking
always
cool. I
been
almost bought
interested in
some.
falconry. So I
Yeah.
might just get into it.
Oh, dude,
Just
that'd
have a
be
fleet
sick.
of birds.
You'd be like in a mirror, just fucking have a fleet of falcons that
Yeah.
destroy destroy your neighbor's fucking bird feeders.
Drones.
Shit.
No, not the bird feeders, the drones.
Oh yeah, the
I'll feed
drones.
the falcons. Just like have attack hawks that take out the drones while they're flying over my land.
Hell yeah. The only problem with birds is they fucking stink.
Oh no, you have to have like outside
Yeah.
facility
You
for them.
have to. Like you can always tell when you walk into somebody's house that has a bird, you're just
Or a
immediately.
ferret.
Yeah, ferrets fucking stink
Oh
too.
my
My
god.
buddy had a ferret when we were in high school, and the thing got out, and it like totally fucked up the ecosystem in the creek like that ran through his property. Like
No
everything
shit.
died. Like it just destroyed everything. And I was always, you always hear about like keystone species, and you're like, yeah, yeah, blah, 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 shut up. But no, like this thing went in and just fucking owned the ecosystem and killed fucking everything.
So what happened to the ferret?
I don't know, probably died at some point,
Oh,
but
it died.
it
Yeah.
just lived outside. Like it got out and it just lived out there and like all this like plants started dying. Like it was a real mess. Like cuz it would just took out like all the bugs, it took out a bunch of fish. It just really like came in there and just fucking threw its stick down and took over the ecosystem.
When I was a kid, I would read the Dungeons and Dragons novels, and
Mm.
one of the characters I really liked had a ferret that could pickpocket, and I'm like, I want
Oh,
one of those one
that's
day.
cool. They're pretty cool
And
little.
then,
There are pretty cool
yeah,
little animals.
but it's like the oil in their hair that stinks. It's
Oh,
not
really?
their shit. Yeah, so like, there's nothing. You could have the cleanest litter box or whatever, and it would still smell like ferret in your house.
Yuck.
Yeah,
But dogs are the way to go. You know,
dogs are the best.
dogs are the fucking best. People, one of the like I'm always thinking about aliens and shit like that, and I always wonder like would aliens have pets? Because like pets are a weird thing for us because we didn't just like decide that we wanted to have pets. Like dogs evolved with us, and like I don't
Yeah,
know that
like,
we have
hey, that fire
civilization.
looks awfully warm.
Yeah, and, like, I
Yeah,
don't know if we have civilization without fucking dogs because they were
yeah,
so pivotal to, like, early humans and shit, so it's
and
just such an
protection.
interesting thing that, like, we're a codependent species in a lot of ways, like, we don't need them now, but we did before, now they need us completely, and
Yeah.
we've kinda, like, swapped roles over thousands and thousands of years, which is interesting, right?
Yeah, we have this one dog sitter who's like, it's funny. Her husband like in Detroit, grew up less than a half a mile from me, and we're the same age, but we never met because whatever. She's the best, and then we have this other lady that watches them because the good ones booked like 2 months out,
Mm,
and we picked up the boys 2 days ago, and my wife was, like, petting our bigger dog's ear, and it had, like, a big cut in it, and they come back just so unruly, and it, like, pisses me off, like,
yeah.
those are the fucking boys, you
Yeah.
don't fuck with them, so we're gonna find a new backup dog sitter for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the main problems that I have, like, not being able to travel is, like, I don't have anybody to watch my dog. My dog's such an asshole. He's a Jack
Yeah,
Russell,
he
and
is.
he's just a dick, and, like, he he does not do well when I'm not home. He turns into an asshole, and even, like, he loves my mom, but when I'm not home and, like, I'm gone for a couple days, he just turns into an asshole, and he doesn't want anything to do with anybody, and, like, it's a total pain in the ass. I would have to find a
Yeah.
dog sitter that he, like, really liked, but, like, for the most part, like, I think the most time we've ever spent apart is, like, a week or something like that when I went to have a prosthetic built. Like, for the most part, we've spent every day together since I've been hurt, and, like, he just he doesn't like it when I'm not home. He gets
Yeah.
fucking angry, and he
He gets
bites, and
angry at
he's a
you too.
shithead, you know? Yeah. Jack Russells are the best. Like, I love Jack Russells, but it takes a special person to own a Jack Russell because they are a special breed of dog. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Like, they have big dog teeth and a small dog body and the power of like a big dog. It's really amazing, like, when you put a leash on him or when he decides to fight or something like that, like, how much power he actually packs in a little fucking 20-pound body.
Yeah, well, my older dog is a pit bull, wiener dog, chihuahua, and 102 other breeds. So he's like long, but he's jacked like a pit bull, and he
Uh-huh.
has the pit bull grip. So
Yeah, it's fucking rough,
he's the
man.
biggest he's so scared of everything. But like if we're at a restaurant and one of the people are pushing the trash out to the trash can, like those wheels scare the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody pushed a baby stroller by when we were at our block party and he just like flipped the fuck out. Like I had to take him inside.
Yeah, Ozzy's scared of noise too. He used to be not be scared of anything, and then they started using F-35s in the air show near my house, and, like, the noise just fucking scarred him for life. The one thing that I have to deal with that I haven't dealt with yet because my shoulder's been jacked up is so I haven't used my prosthetic hand really since he started being scared of noise, and he's, like,
Yeah.
super scared of beeping. Like, beeping just really sends him off the edge. Like, can people stop, like, bleeping out cuss words on YouTube videos? It's fucking killing my dog.
Oh,
Like, just
dude. So All In did their summit. They did Tulsi, Tucker, and a few other people, and the Tulsi and Tucker interviews got not shadow banned, but they're like for mature
mhm,
audiences. So if safe mode's on, which most system administrators put safe mode on, it doesn't show up in your feed. And it sounded malicious, like, oh, they're censoring, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. And they actually talked to YouTube, and all it had went from bleeps to just quieting the word, and the algorithm picked it up as a word still, and they automatically got put into safe mode.
Huh, that's
So
wild.
the bleeps have to be explicitly bleeped or you're you're no good.
Fucking YouTube, man. Anyways, what I was gonna say is my fucking prosthetic hand beeps when I tell it to do things, which why would you make it beep? And he's
Yeah.
terrified of my prosthetic now. Alright. Well,
Yeah.
let's call it here and,
Yeah.
let you get
Time
off
to
and
wrap it up.
get back to work or get to bed or whatever, go fuck your wife, whatever it is you're gonna do for the rest of the night.
I don't know where my wife is.
Oh, you'll know soon.